Superman. He's an icon. He stands for truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. He also stands for hope. Hope of a better future. Hope of things to get better. And hope that making a Superman movie won't result in your studio going bankrupt. Hello there, my name's Filky, and I want to tell you, yes, you, the story of one Superman movie that caused a movie studio to go bankrupt. But first, how did we get here? Superman was brought to the big screen in 1978 with Superman the Movie, starring Christopher Reeves as the titular hero. The tagline for this movie was, "You'll believe a man can fly," and boy did ya! The special effects, while dated for today's standard, were like anything else released at the time. This movie was directed by Richard Donner, and was actually planned to film back-to-back with its sequel, Superman 2. During the production of Superman 2, Donner got in fights with the producers of the movie, Alexander and Ilka Salkind, and Richard Donner ended up getting replaced. Because of the budget of the movie, which ballooned to a whopping $110 million between the two films. Unheard of for the time, Superman the movie grossed $300 million, making more than enough to cover the production and getting sued by Marlon Brando, but that's a story for another time. Richard Donner was out, and Richard Lester is in. He helped finish Superman 2, and released it. $216 million later, and it's time for the third. Now this is a big deal. This is Richard Lester's first time taking on the franchise by himself. This third one is his vision, front to back. He needs to make this one count. Gene Hackman, who played Lex Luthor, and Margot Kidder, who played Lois Lane, were very upset with how the producers treated Richard Donner, so their parts were reduced or cut altogether. This movie is weird. It's not really about Superman, and more about Richard Pryor's character. This movie suffers from a lot of studio meddling and behind-the-scenes controversy and a lot of lawsuits, and it was considered a bomb by Superman standards. Next, the studio tried to spin the universe off into a Supergirl universe, and that went poorly. With nowhere else to go, there were no other choices but to sell Superman off to a little company by the name of Cannon Films. Cannon Films was run by Menahem Golan and Yoris Globus, producers who bought up IPs, cut budgets, and hoped nobody would notice. They first came to notoriety with their Death Race sequels. Well, not great. They made money, and that's all that matters. They were the master of the B-movie.
You like jazz?
Not that B-movie. They'd buy rights to movies at Cannes with no scripts, no directors, and, well, sometimes no actors, and they would try to turn around a quick profit with shoestring budgets. Films like Master of the Universe, Over the Top, Break Into, Electric Boogaloo, all canon, all chaos. After some bad financial choices, they bought the rights to Superman because they thought it could save the company. They promised that the new Superman movie would have a $36 million budget, which would have been the lowest budget for a Superman movie at the time, but if it made the usual Superman money, they'd be golden. Christopher Reeves, who played Superman, was pretty upset and did not want to return as Superman, but he pitched a story of an anti-nuke message, which was accepted, and Christopher Reeves was thought to basically be the director. Unfortunately, as production continued, the studio thought Christopher Reeves was too inexperienced. The job of director was given to Sidney Furie. As production continued, the budget was slashed to $17 million. Basically in half. This obviously threw a wrench in the plans, and things needed to be cut. If you watch the movie, you see these reused takes, half-finished special effects, and all over bad-looking movie. After negative test screenings, it was reported that 45 minutes that were filmed ended up on the cutting room floor. This movie was a mess. The director and the main star both begged for more money to finish some of the scenes that they had to shoot, but they were denied. This movie was basically assembled in the editing bay. Christopher Reeve was the heart of this franchise. He was charming, idealistic, and deeply committed. He wanted this movie to mean something. Nuclear disarmament. This was very close to his heart. He thought Superman 4 would be his return to form. Instead, he was handed a script that felt like a bad comic strip. He later said he was embarrassed by the final cut and regretted returning. You can see him trying in every scene. He's still Superman, but even he can't save this script. Opening weekend was disastrous. The fallout was no joke. On a $17 million budget, they made only $30 million, which when you take into account marketing and the bailout that Warner Brothers had to give them so they wouldn't shut down immediately, this did not go the way that they wanted it. Canon Films, within a year of this movie coming out, filed for bankruptcy. They had plans to make Superman 5, the new movie, and it would have seen Brainiac and the bottled city of Kandor. But this wasn't going to happen. It's not just Canon Films who was affected by this. Superman did not return to the big screen for 19 years after this movie. And when he did, they made it so that this movie and Superman 3 don't count towards the canon of the film's universe. What once was a project where Superman himself wanted to have a conversation about denuclearizing became a joke of a movie with such classics as this. So what happened next? Canon got back up on their feet for a little while, declaring bankruptcy, releasing films like Delta Force 2, The Colombian Connection, and American Kickboxer, as well as this movie called Cyborg, which has become my latest obsession. Maybe I'll do a video about it someday, but after selling the company a couple of times, it was officially put to rest in 1994. Anyone will tell you that the nail in their coffin was Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Some may even call it